Hoback Knives maintenance and adjustment video number 4, blade centering. So every once in a while you'll get a blade that's out of center. 95% of the time, 99% of the time, somewhere in there, you just got to tighten the pivot. Like this one's a little off, and now it's centered. Really easy. That is usually all it takes to fix this. I set up these knives so that when you tighten the pivot, it's exactly where it's supposed to be in smoothness and everything else. You can fiddle with it a little. I'm sure somebody will make them better than I can, but you know, I do my best. So if tightening the pivot doesn't fix it, what you can do is, I don't know if this is the Emerson or the Hinderer version of doing this, but I modified it ever so slightly, and it's good for fixing an off-center blade. Now, it'll be a little over-exaggerated on this blade because you can see it's perfectly centered, but if I loosen this, and now my blade's off to the non-lock side, to the presentation side a little bit. How you can fix it if you do that is come in with basically canting the blade in there. So you loosen the frame screws about quarter turn, and then I have a tendency to try to do this with the blade partway open so you don't scratch it when you're trying to flip it open when all the frame and everything is loose. But now you can see the blade's nice and loose in the frame. If most of the time it's your lock bar that's pushing the blade over a little bit, so what you do to kind of offset that a little bit, if it's not perfectly centered exactly the way you like it, is open the blade about an inch, loosen all the screws, take your thumb, wrap your fingers, your pinky, your ring, and your middle finger around the frame. With your thumb, pull this way. See how the blade's off center there? Then tighten up your frame screws nice and tight. I use about 10 pounds of torque. Okay, now let go. Tighten up your pivot one more time, and it'll bring it over. Now you can see this is a little off center now because it was centered before, but you can move it over for 5, maybe 10 thousandths at the most, but that'll center things up a little better. Now if I loosen these screws again, loosen the pivot, tighten it back up, now we're back to center. So just a little trip down memory lane on this one, because I've had a few questions on this in the past, and usually I refer everybody to I think it's Hinderer's site, but I could be mistaken on that, on how to do that. It's a really quick, easy fix, especially for older knives that slowly wear the parts out. The pivot gets a little bit looser, so you can't really tighten it as much as you need to straighten things out. But as you can see, it works. So there you go, guys. That's maintenance video number 4.